Hello, welcome back. Now, the European Parliament has ruled that British workers should not work more than 48 hours a week. It's voted to end Britain's opt-out clause because it breaches health and safety standards.
Tony Blair has previously said that UK firms should be able to choose their own working hours. So, is this good news for workers? Well, the lifestyle coach Rasheed Ogunlaru joins us now. First question, is it good news for workers?
Well, there's one thing that's very clear, that long hours is really bad news for workers. It's bad news for workers, it's bad news for families, and also ultimately it's bad news for businesses, because at the end of the day, you're going to vote with your feet if you're not liking what you're finding. More and more people are wanting more balanced lifestyle. They're wanting more time at home, and so Britain has been out of step with Europe for a long time.
It's not always bad news for people. I mean, some people want to work extra hours. They want to earn more money to go on that holiday or get that fancy car. Why should the European Parliament say, no, you can't?
I think the difficulty is that many people feel compelled to work long hours. And I think if you were to ask people, many people are very conscientious, and actually they work longer than they should anyway, even without this legislation. So it is ultimately bad news. Even people who are running businesses are working very, very long hours, and more people that I see are really struggling with life balance.
And how does, when you get your life balance, as you call it, is that offset, off-kilter? What sort of effect can it have in practical terms?
I mean, you see it very often. You see it in stress. You'll often see it actually with things like absenteeism, and you'll see it with morale. So actually, it's not good news actually for business. Very often, some of the problems that businesses face are actually because people are actually very stressed, they're overworked, and their lives really are in balance at all. And that's just bad news all round.
And has Britain got a particular problem with this compared with our European allies, just because of this directive that's been in place in other countries for quite a while?
I think that Britain certainly does have a workaholic culture. There really seems to be a culture whereby we live for our work rather than our work supporting our lifestyle, and that's bad.
This is the thing, though, so that some people will be watching going, well, why is that bad? Look at our economy. We've got one of the best economies in Europe. I mean, one of the reasons why is that we work all hours. We work very hard to achieve those sort of standards.
I think more and more people are wanting to work smarter, and there's quite a lot of evidence that actually where people have far more flexible hours and they have far more flexible lifestyles, that they're actually able to be just as efficient. Very often that you'll see people being very, very inefficient. And of course, let's not forget there are many professions in which it is actually very potentially harmful for people to be working long hours.
Work smarter, the word that you used. Give us some types of ways that we can all try to work smarter from tomorrow.
Yeah, some really simple things, and they're things that often people find very difficult to do, is make sure you start and leave on time. If need be, set your alarm at the end of the day so you do leave on time. Ensure that you have a lunch break. Go out for a walk. This will actually make you far more productive. Very often you'll find people slouch after lunch at work and they're actually being ineffective. And plan your holidays. If need be, put time in your diary to go to the gym, for time for the family and so on. These are things that often lose out. People's families often lose out, and people's relationships do. So take that advice on board.
What about the boss who is watching, who is expecting their employees to stay later? And because, you know, they want to see how well they can cope with pressure.
I think it's really important that you're showing your commitment to your boss, and the boss sees that you're working very smartly and very effectively, and that your commitment is there to the company. And I think that will actually help. But, you know, working long hours but being ineffective is not helpful for the business, nor to your lifestyle.
If we all go down to, what, 35 hours a week or something like that, what sort of difference would it make in society 3 years down the line, do you think?
I think it would be really interesting to see. I think that you'll certainly see far more people who are far more relaxed, who've got their balance right, who are perhaps spending far more time with families and so on. What you've often seen actually in the UK is people putting off things like having families later and later, and holidays even go back later and later, and people take them fewer and fewer. And often people who were a nation of shopkeepers, many people who, for example, are business owners, aren't taking holidays. So I think you're going to see a culture in which people are far more relaxed and far more at peace themselves.
Something to look forward to. Rasheed Ogunlaru, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.